Hey, this is NFTeve, and I'm here with Chain Letter NFT. He has a very original and interesting, he just called it a social experiment NFT concept. So hi, how are you doing today? Good.
Hi, Eve. How are you?
Good.
Thank you for having me on.
Man, thank you. Yeah, I heard you in some Twitter spaces, and you were talking about how you help a lot of people with their white pages and whatnot. And then you started talking about your own project, which I thought sounded really interesting. So yeah, if you want to, you can start sharing your screen and show us your project and explain it to us.
Absolutely. So here's a sample letter that I've pinned to my Twitter account so people can understand the concept behind it. And it's basically a letter. So conceptually, the chain letter it's got positive and negative letters, and the idea of it is to keep those letters moving around the world. It's not intended to be held. So I want to kind of break the hold, buy and hold mentality, because everybody buys NFTs to hold them because they love the art, or they hold them because they want to get a value out of it and maybe sell it at a profit in the future. These letters, or this concept, is intended to be moved from person to person, wallet to wallet, so I can do the data analytics in the back end as a social experiment to see how these negative letters or positive letters affect people. Are they superstitious? Are they afraid? Do they burn the letter? Because you could send these letters to a zero contract and burn them, right? Because you don't want that in your wallet. Or you can forward it to a friend or a frenemy as a joke, saying, you know what, I don't want this in my wallet, but let me send it to somebody I don't like. Or maybe I like this person, but I want to have a fun with them. Let them see if they can read this letter and get spooked. All right.
So what does this one say? This is one of the negative ones, right?
This is one of the negative ones. Yeah, yeah. I can read it if you can't see it.
Yeah, read it for all of us.
Yeah. Hello, my friend. I have an urgent request, and I know that you are very deficient with my requests. I really hope I can count on you. I'm sending this NFT to you because you are better at this than me. You are braver than me. I cannot handle the pressure and responsibility. I'm scared for my life. You see, this NFT was born from the depths of hell. It takes hold of you, your soul, the minute you start reading it. You know that feeling that someone is in the room with you? Well, multiply that feeling by 200%. It's crazy. I know. I have goosebumps just thinking about it. Sell it at any cost, even at a loss. If you don't, I will resort to bad actions. I don't want to go to that dark space again. My life is in your hands. So that's the kind of, the idea is, again, to trying to convince people to keep selling them, keep burning them, or keep forwarding them.
Or
so
suffer the consequences.
Oh, suffer the consequences, exactly. So I also have good vibes ones as well. I can kind of show what that looks like. So these are unbearable.
So what would happen if somebody burnt it? This reminds me, one time I had this book called The Necromancy, and I read the whole book. It was all on like black magic. And then towards the end of their book, they're like, anyone who ever had this book died, you know, and it would just go on until I finally just destroyed the book, burned it.
Right. So it's conceptually the same thing. So the idea of these letters is just to have fun and understand how people react to them. So this particular one is called a good vibes one. For your sins, you must atone. Pass this on. You're not alone. Good vibes will come to you. Do not hold the NFT longer than 2. Pass this on to 5 friends. Good vibes will come in the end. Again, same concept, right? You get a message and an action and kind of have fun with it, basically. So I have different variations of it. I have a kind of poetry with it and more of a letter types. And as you can see, the details.
So it's unrareable.
It's unrareable. Yeah, it's unrareable. So these first 3 or 4 versions that I have are just the core, the basis to see how people accepted or rejected my concept. I've gotten some really good feedback because, you know, a lot of folks, like just similar to you, feel that this is very original, very different than what a lot of NFTs are doing. I didn't want to do a PFP. I didn't want to do anything similar to others or replicable to others. I wanted to do something very different. So I'm an engineer. I'm also a kind of an ideations kind of guy. So I put those two concepts together and it made sense to me
What's
because I've
ideations?
a person who comes with ideas is kind of
Oh, okay.
so it's a the person that likes to come up with ideas, concepts, take someone's concepts or ideas and kind of improve on them or add more value to them. I like doing that. I do that a lot on different spaces as well. I'm like, I like what you're doing. Hey, how about you add this? And like, oh, I like that. So they'll run with it, right? Which is fine. That's the whole idea of ideation is to help others, not necessarily it's all for me, right? It's for others to use as well. So that's what I've done. I do that very well. It's kind of natural for me to help others and move concepts and ideas to the next level. So those are the letters conceptually. So like I said, I got some really good feedback from a lot of different folks, a lot of people, really good people in the community. I was sitting in spaces and just kind of listening in. I've also shared in spaces, and because of the positive feedback, so I kind of started figuring out what I want to do next. I could continue with these letters, which I'm gonna. So I'm building out my website to have a, a concept of like almost fill in the blank letters. So you can kind of make it very standard to yours, to your needs. You can put people's names in there or kind of very generic information and then mint your own NFT based on the information you want to put in and kind of fill in the
Oh,
blanks
from the website. So
from the website.
So I remember when you were on the space, you said you wanted this to go around the world, your chain letters, because that's what chain letters are supposed to do. How
Exactly.
does it work? Like the first one you said, I'll send this to 5 friends or suffer the consequences. Like, how do you send it exactly? If it's just one NFT, how do you send it to 5? You meant 5 more? How?
Yeah,
And
5
then,
more. So get more and send them to 5. So if you bought one, you need to buy more now.
okay, or else
Right?
suffer the consequences.
Or else suffer the consequences. So see, again, it's a motivational thing, right? It's to kind of give them, incentivize them. On this is again, this is the first iteration of what I'm doing. So the idea is to incentivize them as well as to see, are they willing to do that? Are they willing to actually follow the instructions to the T, right? It's been really slow going. As much as I can talk about the project and get that really positive feedback from it, not everyone has gravitated and actually purchased it, which is fine, right? At the end of the day, its concept is being built. So once I'm done with my iteration, I'm going to do almost like a 3D pop-up book as well that shows an image, shows a message, not necessarily a letter, but kind of a short 1 sentence, 2 sentence message and a task. Very similar to how these letters are set up, where it says hold it for a week and then sell it, or hold it for for a day and burn it. To see people will actually follow, right? Are they superstitious enough? Again, this whole thing becomes a human behavioral project as much as it is a fun chain letter project, social experiment of sorts. So that's what kind of the whole core of the project is, the data analytics side. What I'd want to see in 2-3 years time as these letters change hands from wallet to wallet, I want to create like a spatter chart so I can see how many wallets, how long they held it, did they burn it, did they transfer it, did they sell it, did they buy more? Those are the things I want to see, and kind of the time between burning, selling, buying more. Who did they send it to? Did they know the person they sent it to, or did they just send it to another wallet that they own? Right. So those are the little things I want to do in the back end of the whole concept, the engineering side of it, basically.
So what's the floor price?
They vary. I was just trying to kind of feel where the market is.
Uh-huh.
So it's not a price movement for me. It's more
Uh-huh.
a data analytic for me. So
Uh-huh.
I expect two things. So I think if I recall, this one is at 0.01. I even have point zero five. They vary. I
And
even
E,
I'm
obviously.
sorry. Yeah, it's all in ETH. Yeah, in ETH.
And on
Um,
Rarible, they're selling in Polygon wrapped ETH, or how is the Rarible? They're
so
NFTs now, right?
I've noticed two. I've noticed two. I've seen them in DAI,
Mm-hmm.
which is a stable coin. I've also seen them in ETH. I haven't done anything else. So those are only two. I actually, if I was going to consider them, I would do a stable coin and Ethereum.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so anyway, I expect, even if I sold it at 0.1, I
Mm-hmm.
expect people who are superstitious, and that's another thing I'm looking for, is will they sell it for less than they bought it for? Right. So that's that, again, a human experiment. If they sell it for more, which would be even more interesting to see a person who wants to buy a good vibe and pay more for it than what they purchased it for, or a negative vibe, sell it for less than they purchased it.
Let's see the other one. The other one that you showed me, it was really nice
Yeah.
draw.
So this one is the same letter I just read to you.
Uh-huh.
It's pinned. However, I'm going to kind of do a, this is the same letter, except what it does is has got a little GIF to it. And every several milliseconds, you get this, it's called, the title of this one is called The Devil Inside, right? And you can see him in the background, and all of a sudden you get this flash of this image in the background, but the message is exactly the same. It's asking a friend to help out to sell this negative NFT at any cost. And then I kind of wanted to add a little texture to it. You can see it in the faint background, the image, the outline, and then you get this devil inside come out at you. I'm going to come out with different versions of this, and also conceptually, I thought about maybe doing different languages of these as well. So I think I don't know what I'm going to do yet, which languages yet, but I thought it would be a really cool thing to do it in different languages as well. So those are the little things I've been kind of playing around with. I'm working with a team now, but they're not really my team. I'm actually collaborating more, but I'm trying
Mhm.
to get a team that I can kind of depend on and work with, dedicated team. I haven't done that yet. So this is my 2022 plan, is to get a dedicated team, build out the website, build out the concept, and do a way of kind of bringing this to market in 2022.
Yeah, well, it's a very, very interesting original concept. And, I mean, it could really hit and become a thing, because it's very participatory, which is, it's fun. It's more like
Yeah,
a game. I'm not superstitious myself, but I like the game concept,
I
you know.
appreciate that. So
Yeah.
I also want to kind of again, playing with words, read this message, and do it. Save a life, so get to it. Don't wait too long. Time is too strong. This letter is evil. Help a friend in a pickle. So again, I'm trying to kind of either do it in the description or within the letter itself to kind of
uh,
give the people. I'm not sure if it's intuitive when someone gets this letter. Like, let's say you open up your wallet one day and you get this thing in your inbox, in your wallet, I should say, not in your box. I don't know if it's natural for people to kind of read and say, "Oh my goodness, I got to sell this thing. I got to burn this thing. I don't want this here." So I think what I've noticed is I need to collaborate with like a group or a PFP project. Say, hey, you know what? Let's start off with, a 10 or 20 of these and see what your community does to kind of get that momentum. Because the momentum is not natural. No one is looking for these letters saying, I want to buy a letter and send it to a friend.
yeah, nobody ever heard
Right.
thought of it. Yeah.
Right. Right. So those are the little things. Also, those are the challenges I have, is to kind of get that momentum, get that word out, get that concept out, and people are looking for it instead of me going, "Hey, I exist. Come and get it." So that's the fun part of building this project, is that the challenges of getting to that next level, the challenges of kind of collaborating and working with others as well. The fact that you were listening in, and then you reached out and said, I like what you're doing, totally original. Let's talk about it. Let's get it on YouTube. Those are the kind of collaborations and I need from the community itself. So I've done also other AMAs, not recorded AMAs, but I've done AMAs, community AMAs with Mona Lisa.
All right. I'm ignorant. What is AMA? I mean, I hear the word every day, but I don't know what it means.
Ask me anything.
Oh, okay. I thought it was an NFT thing.
I'm sorry?
I thought it was an NFT thing. So I'm always thinking.
No, it's a not necessarily NFT. It's all crypto-based projects and that kind of DeFi, CeFi, and all those others. When a group is either doxed or undoxed and they're trying to get the community involved and engaged, they'll put an AMA, ask me anything, and they'll, and basically there's no holds barred. You can ask any question and they're supposed to honestly answer it, because the idea is for you to build rapport with your community by giving them the opportunity to ask any questions, whether project related, future concepts, what have you, and they're supposed to help you get there. Once you build that rapport, these AMAs is what keeps your community coming back or engaged. That's what AMA is all about.
All right, thanks. Wow, this is so interesting. I could totally picture it in the metaverse on a wall somewhere. You're walking by, you see this. Oh my God.
Right.
It falls in front of you. What if you're in a metaverse and it's like a haunted house or something, and then it just falls right in front of you and then you pick it up.
So that's exactly what I thought. I thought in the metaverse in the future, when we have the 3D avatars and with AI concepts, I thought maybe we can do like a hot potato letter where you can kind of open your hand and the letter will pop up and you can kind of read it like a message, virtual message that comes to you, and holy crap, this is a letter. So then you can just kind of crumple it up and throw it at your friend and they get that letter within that metaverse, like a hot potato game. I don't know. I mean, that's futuristic concepts, but the idea is to, again, have fun within the metaverse as you pass these letters around from person to person instead of from wallet to wallet. So those are the things I'd love to see.
That'll be different.
Yeah, I'd love to see that concept build out in the future. And those are the things I'm going to be trying to see if I can kind of move that ball forward in the future as this concept grows and kind of grows legs a little bit.
Very, very interesting. So fascinating. That's really super cool.
One thing I do want to add, my next iteration is going to have what's called a backward rewards. We're throwing around different concepts. One of the ones that I like a lot, and again, it might not be the one we're going to settle with, but is say you buy a NFT, a chain letter NFT, and you sell it. The person before you gets that royalty, and then the next person that sells it, you get their royalty.
Oh, that's very cool. It's a chain royalty.
Exactly. So not only a chain royalty, it's also an incentive to keep selling them and moving them forward.
That's really interesting. Okay, that's very interesting.
Yeah, I call it backward royalty.
Do you think of it yourself?
Yeah. So a lot of these things just come in. I just kind of write them down. I have a whole entire concept built out already. I don't want to share. I do have other things I can share. I don't want to share. I'm not ready to share with the world yet of how these 3D arts are going to look like and all sorts of different concepts. But there's different variations that I've also collaborated with two guys that I've talked to on a regular basis, Cinema Mind and Ether. Those two guys are very, very bright within the NFT space, within their own respective projects. But I've kind of thrown ideas around how we're going to do it and what it's going to look like, what other concepts we can build. And a lot of these things that also I'm thinking about, I've taken notes on Again, I don't know which one's going to stick just yet. I might try all of them, right, to see which one goes. Again, because it's a social experiment, I'm okay with trying different royalty concepts. I'm okay with trying different letters in different languages. Not necessarily about making the money, but it's about just moving these letters around, having that momentum and keeping them going.
Yeah, that's very, very interesting. Very interesting. And then anyone would have proof that they at one time owned the letter because they have that registered on the blockchain in their wallet, even though it's not in their wallet anymore. So like if one day in the future, I'm like, oh, I bought the chain letter in the beginning, you'd be like, look, there's a transaction hash, So it's kind of interesting now, because everything is so easily recorded, in a blockchain. So
Yeah.
well, thank you so much for sharing this. Any last thing you want to share?
No, I appreciate your time and thank you for your support. Really, these are the conversations I love having. I love talking about the concept, and looking forward to the next time we speak. And looking
Yeah.
forward.
When you get your next thing on, I'm always here to listen to what you will be doing next. So interesting. All right.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Have a good one.